guys, my name is Sebastian Cole and welcome to my YouTube channel. I created this channel because I wanted to share some of the stuff that I do outside of work and stuff. I do a lot of work here at home. I build a bunch of cars and I just do a bunch of neat stuff that I don't often share on Instagram or anything else. So I decided that I want to start sharing that stuff with other people, and YouTube is a great way to do that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. This here is my Mark IV TDI wagon. I swapped it from a 1.8 turbo to a ALH TDI. And this car started life out obviously as a 1.8 turbo car. We bought the car, had over 190,000 miles on it, and we didn't really know what we were going to do with it. The car is kind of rough, did run and drive, so it's the car just sat for a little bit. Then we ended up buying a Mark IV TDI Beetle. TDI Beetle ran and drove and had some body issues, and we didn't really know what to do with that either. So we had the wagon and we had the Beetle. We decided, well, hey, why not take the two, turn the wagon into a TDI. So ended up, got the Beetle, pulled the Beetle into the shop. Took it apart, pulled the TDI engine out of it, and then had the motor on the floor. The motor had a ton of carbon in the intake and didn't run the best when I pulled it out. Did run and drive, but didn't run the best when I pulled it out. So took the EGR stuff off, cleaned it out, and made that stuff all function as it should. And so after that, pulled the Beetle out, and I got the wagon, and we pulled it in. So I pulled it in, pulled the 1.8 turbo out, and at that point I just started, I got the TDI all back together, and prepped it because it was coming out of Beetle, so I had to change over some stuff to make all that stuff work on wagon side, because the Jetta stuff and the Beetle stuff, a lot of different components are different, so I had to swap all that stuff over. So after did all that stuff, stuck the TDI in. So TDI bolted it all up, and then I spent over the course of probably a week or so, just in the evenings when I had free time over the weekends, just getting the motor swap in, dealing with all the stuff, getting all the wiring swapped over. So what I ended up doing was took the body, both sides of the ECU plugs, pulled both of those harnesses out for the 1.8 turbo. Those came out, put in Mark IV TDI wiring harness stuff, ECU, all that stuff, wired in a 109 relay. And after I did all that stuff, that was about it for the wiring. Then I ended up changing the plug relay later on to make that all work right. And then I also ended up having to swap over fuel lines. So I pulled the fuel lines out of the Beetle, all the way back, obviously level sender too. Drained the fuel tank out, wiped it all out with paper towels, and then put all the TDI stuff on. And then it was a matter of just all the little stuff that, you know, it takes a bunch of time to get all that stuff figured out, and the different things that hold, the brackets that hold different things on that are different with the TDI, that you have to swap over from being 1.8 turbo. So did a lot of that stuff. Overall, obviously changed out the downpipe, did use the rest of the exhaust is still the 1.8 turbo exhaust, did change out the downpipe, left the stock cluster in it, and key and everything, so that it all reflects the proper mileage, and then just did the TDI ECU with the immobilizer drop to make it drive with the car. So after did all that stuff, for the wiring fought me a little bit getting all that stuff figured out, but ultimately after figuring a combination of different things, and then ultimately the vacuum pod not working properly, and it was shutting the EGR flapper, and the car wouldn't start, which really threw me for a loop for quite a while before the car actually decided it wanted to start. So that took me quite some time to figure out, but once I figured all that stuff out, got the car together. having to alter the filler neck because this was originally a gas car. I did not swap over to a diesel tank, so I ended up just, I don't know if you guys can see in there, but I ended up just busting out there's a little piece that kind of protects it from putting a diesel nozzle in the gas car. So we broke that out. Diesel nozzle fits in fine. Also, that there, put the diesel on the filler door as well. So, yeah. And then it's been just kind of a little bit of dealing with this stuff here and there, taking little breaks from it over the past month, building the car, just figuring out how to do certain things and what needed changed, and then really addressing all the other stuff with the car that needed done that made the car a better car overall, made it drive better and all that stuff. So all the swap stuff, got all that stuff going, and it was driving okay after a ton of ECU fighting and finding the proper ECU that was going to drive with the car and drive with the harness combination that I was using and everything. We finally were able to get that squared away, so there's no lights on the dash at all. It's all off and working properly, so that all works great. And the car is a 5-speed car. It was a 5-speed 118, now it's a 5-speed TDI, so there was no need to swap over anything as far as automatic to manual conversions or anything like that. So all that stuff stayed the same shift box and that type of stuff. Did have to change out to TDI axles from the 1.8 turbo axles. Just a lot of different swap over, a lot of making stuff work and figuring stuff out, and coming up with whatever different parts, all the various parts that need to be changed with the TDI swap into the 1.8 turbo. Even down to as simple as the badge on the back of the hatch said 1.8T, change that over to TDI. So doing all that type of stuff. So everybody did all that. Car runs and drives really good now. Has decent power as far, I mean, it's a stock, bone stock, absolutely nothing done to it. TDI, so gets great economy and everything, but it's doing exactly what we need to do, and it ended up making a pretty solid car overall. So I was quite happy with it. But as far as the overall basis of this video and the 1.8T to TDI swap, pretty much everything just bolts in. You just got to figure out what you need to swap over from what you're doing, especially if you take a Beetle and put it into a Jetta. There's added swappage that you wouldn't have necessarily had to do before had you taken a Jetta TDI apart and putting it into the Jetta wagon 1.8T. But no, so all this stuff, it all bolts up and everything. It's just a matter of figuring out how all that stuff has to go and just filling around. And a lot of, as far as the parts stuff, maybe wondering how I am just able to say, oh, I just found this or I just grabbed that. My family has a Volkswagen parts business. We do service, parts, car sales, that type of stuff. So we have a 15,000 square foot warehouse full of these parts. So that's where I'm able to come up with these parts, and that's where the cars come from and everything like that. So just kind of, that's how it makes it a little bit easier. But nonetheless, the swap is still, if you have a donor car that you're swapping everything over with, you can figure it out. I know some people do decide to swap over the body harnesses. It's an option for this. In my opinion, this was better than dealing with all that because it's a ton of work to swap all that stuff over. But either way works. I made this work. So after I got all the TDI stuff sorted out on this car, I was just, like I said, diddling around with all the rest of the stuff that needed done, and over time just picking away at all the things that it needed attention with. And then after I did all that, had gray cloth interior. The gray cloth interior, pretty rough. So ended up deciding that I wanted to go ahead and swap over the interior to black. Put these where they belong. Leather, so black leather seats, went to black glove box, black under dash trays and stuff, black armrest, that type of stuff. So the black and gray combination works out pretty well. So I'll take you guys and show you that real quick. Black leather front seats, black leather back seats, and then the glove box and all that stuff. So all that stuff made all that work. Jetta, I did end up putting Jetta seats into the wagon. I'm reading all over the internet. It was a bit of a controversial topic as to what if that does work or if that does not work. I can confirm it does work. You do have to do some modifications to make some changes, mainly in the bracketry for the back seat. So you do have to do that, but nonetheless, it does work. You can make it work. And the seats, and as you guys can see in the car, the seats look factory, turned out pretty good. And obviously the fronts, just stock Mark IV. So that stuff all worked out. But at this point, got black leather interior, Mark IV TDI wagon. Ended up turning into as I stated before, a pretty decent car in my opinion. Nice, worked out good. I'm very happy with it overall. Made a good car, and I'm just glad that the swap over went as pretty much as I expected. But basically, the general gist of it is that you can do TDI swap from a 1.8T to a TDI. Certainly do it. There's a lot of swap over that needs to be done, but it's more than doable. And availability of the parts helps a lot, but this should serve as a decent overview as to what exactly needs to be done as far as TDI swap in the car. It's a lot of just swapping over, bolting over, especially if you have a donor car. Makes things a whole lot easier figuring all that stuff out. And it's just generalized knowledge of how to do this stuff. And I mean, I've been doing this since I was about 11 years old. So I mean, I got about 6 years in at this point. Certainly not as much as a lot of other people, but I've got a bunch of time in it, and I've been around these cars for quite a while. So I've picked up a lot, and so that helps out when I'm doing projects like this. Alright, so that's pretty much going to be a wrap on this video. Like I said, got into this basically to share my passion with these cars. I do a lot of work on these things. I've pretty much devoted my life to doing this stuff, and I truly do enjoy it. It is my passion, and I kind of like to share my passion with other people and hopefully inspire them to maybe do the same. Maybe get a project car and or do a swap car or something like that, because that stuff, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what I love. Yes, I do it as my job, but honestly, it's 24/7. Any free time I have, I'm diddling with something that's got four wheels. Like, it's just truly my passion, and I like to share that with you all. So I hope you guys enjoy it and like hearing me yap about this stuff. I have a lot of plans in the future for this channel. A lot of different cars I want to add, I want to talk about. I got a 1.8 turbo swap Mark I Rabbit pickup that is going to be on the channel here. I got 2 Fahrenheit GTIs. Those are also going to be on the channel, and then a bunch of other stuff I got planned. So super excited to share all this stuff with you all, and I hope you guys are excited about it, and as excited as I am about it. And really I just want to share a lot of my passion with other people and just inspire other people to, if you find something you enjoy, just go ahead and do it. These cars, they're super fun. I really enjoy it. I like doing the work on just doing swap cars to make them look like they're stock as much as my 1.8 turbo truck that I've made it to look. I mean, that thing is all a ton of custom stuff, and you guys will see that here later in the channel. But I like it all. And I hope that I can inspire some other people to enjoy it and to pick up some wrenches and turn some wrenches and build some neat stuff, because at the end of the day, it's super fun. I enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So that's a wrap on this video. I appreciate you all for watching, and stay tuned. There's a bunch of stuff coming in the future, so look out for that. All right, peace.